Everyone, it's Amanda. On this episode of You Gotta Get Treated Here, we're in the Annex in downtown Toronto. Inside of a beautiful yoga studio is Haven Therapeutic Massage. We're gonna chat with owner Chantal, and she's gonna tell us why you gotta get treated here. Chantal, thanks so much for having us here today. The space is gorgeous. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the start of Haven Therapeutic Massage?
I started my practice about 2 years ago. I started it in May 2021. I was in a different suite at the time, but recently moved into this nice big room, and my focus is working with women and the LGBTQ plus community to provide a body inclusive space, and that's my goal.
Chantal, that's really cool. I've met with a couple of other clinic owners who have similar types of niches, either working with women, body positive spaces, working with trans people or LGBTQ plus community. What inspired you to take on this particular niche?
So that's a really great question. So in Toronto, there are hundreds of massage therapy clinics, spas, sports clinics, and to my knowledge, there are no LGBTQ plus focused practices. So I wanted to start this practice as a place to provide that safe space for that community.
Chantal, I noticed this really comfortable looking table. It's got a little bit of extra width to it. Looks like there's some really comfortable cushions. Kind of is inspiring me to take a nap, not to mention the ambiance in this room is really great. Tell me a little bit about this table.
Okay, so I absolutely love this table. I had it custom made by Core Innovations, shout out. It's custom made in the sense that it's tapered. So the bottom of the table is the standard 28 inches, the top of the table is 31 inches. It also has foot pedals on both sides, so I can lift it and adjust it for different body types and for my own body mechanics, and it also lifts up to 500 pounds. So I recently invested in these table extenders. So even though the table is extra wide, I was finding a lot of clients needed a little bit more room and a little more space for their arms so they weren't falling off the table. What I used to do is for clients who had larger bodies, I would use a pillow to kind of prop up the arm when I was treating their arms. But I found that I wanted to have a little bit more space on the actual table, so I invested in these table extenders. So what I do is I install them with every new client, and I keep them on the table or use them for clients that I feel need them going forward. So there's a strap underneath and a strap on top, and it holds them in place and kind of presses them nicely on the side of the table and gives a lot more extra room. So that is 10 inches total, but 5 inches on each side of the table. So I like to customize absolutely everything in my practice. And one of the things that I do to customize the treatment is I use this body cushion. In the massage therapy world, we see it a lot with pregnant clients, which is really good. But I don't really see a lot of pregnant people. So I use this to make the table a little bit more comfortable. So there's these really nice spots here for the chest tissue to provide a little bit more cushioning and support. And it also helps support the low back as well, so people can breathe a little bit easier and feel even more comfortable when they're on the table. So as you can see over here, it's a little bit more narrow. This is the 28-inch side at the bottom because people generally don't need as much room. And then as we move up, it gets a little bit wider. We have the 5 inches on each side of the table added to the extra 31 inches at the top here.
I'm very intrigued by this body cushion, Chantal. How might I get into this?
Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like underneath before I place all the linens on top. So I got the body cushion on the table. If I'm doing a side lying treatment, what I'm gonna do is separate the top and the bottom piece. And when the client gets on the table, they're going to lie, of course, on their side, and their arm is going to be in between this nice space over here.
Hey, I can't wait to get in. All right, so I just go in here. My shoulder goes in here.
Yep. And
So
rest over to the side.
Chantal, there's so many things in here I want to talk about. I'm noticing all of these tiny little touches that you could miss the first time you're in here. It is a big space, but things that make it really welcoming, really relaxing. So let's start with the decor in general. How did you come up with the design for this space?
Well, because the room is so large, there is a potential that it couldn't seem as warm and welcoming. So I really wanted to fill it up with things that made it a little bit more cozy. So my sister actually is the one who really helped me with like the design inspiration and kind of helped guide me on what pieces to buy for the space that would make it warm and welcoming. So for example, the bench, the blanket ladder, arch mirrors, and those kinds of things, and also kind of guide me on the color palette of the room as well, because I think that's really important to also be consistent and to also kind of give the ambience of the space.
I really love this mirror and the quote, "You deserve rest," and it's right above this area where you've got all these personalized touches just to make things more comfortable for your clients. So you've got the diffuser, all of these branded personalized products that people can use, the essential oils, a towel warmer, but I've got to ask, what is this?
As I was saying before, I believe my community deserves an elevated experience. So I've invested in this jade eye cover. So when they turn and face up, adds a little bit of weight to the eyes, also cools underneath the eyes as well, and blocks out the sun from the skylight and just kind of creates a nice soothing experience for the eyes while they're being treated on their legs and arms. Okay, so I'm just gonna place on the eye cover.
It's so cool.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good night, guys. This is a very cool, comfortable view. You got the skylight there, and then all the greenery. Very relaxing. Chantel, I noticed when I was on the table, you have what look to be very giant cupboards. Is that all storage space?
Yeah, so this is basically every RMT's dream. I have loads and loads of storage space in here. As you can tell, today is laundry day, so my shelves are bare. There's lots of room for my oils, my linens, my bolsters, tissues, and absolutely everything else that I need to keep my practice running smoothly, and it's all hidden away so nobody can see it.
I love this little refreshment station you have set up. Like, how cute is this? Look at this. Help yourself. This is adorable.
Yeah, so actually a friend of mine, Matt Chu, he's an RMT and he also does calligraphy. I had him custom make that for me, which is really nice. He does calligraphy and he's super awesome, and made that for me, which I'm very grateful for. Also, I'm a little bit particular about everything being labeled, so I had a lot of custom made labels done for this refreshment station.
This is a cozy little corner you've got here. Nice comfortable chair. And I like this artwork behind me. Is there a story behind this?
Yeah, so I really love this little nook here. This is where I do my intake. I do want to point out the armless chair, which is another important piece in having an inclusive practice. So everybody feels comfortable when they're seated and having a conversation with me. And another thing that I really like about this area is this gold arch floating shelf that a client had gifted to me, and it perfectly fit this bust that my sister had gifted to me for my practice. Amanda, would you like anything from my refreshment station? I have coffee, tea.
I love a coffee.
So thanks for stopping by. I give every new client a thank you gift to say thanks for supporting my small queer-owned practice. So you have a choice here between a lavender sleep spray or a lemongrass chamomile foot soak. Which one would you like?
Oh, choices. I don't know.